So are they Ghostbusters or are they Demon Busters now? What's up everyone, my name is Ryan. Thank you guys for clicking on this video. Today we're going to be talking about the family adventure comedy film called Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. The film was directed by Gil Kenan and he's done films like Monster House, City of Ember, and the Poltergeist remake. The film stars Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, Mckenna Grace, Finn Wolfhard, Kumail Nanjiani, Ernie Hudson, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and many more. What is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire about? Well, when the discovery of an ancient artifact unleashes an evil force, both the new and old Ghostbusters have to team up to protect their home and save it from being an ice age. Just a little background on my history of Ghostbusters. So I first saw Ghostbusters Afterlife as my first Ghostbusters movie, and I really enjoyed that in the theater. It was a fun time, and I gave it, I believe, a 4 out of 5. I had a great time. I bought it on 4K. I definitely want to check it out at some point. Just last year, I saw the 2 original Ghostbusters. I liked the first one. The second one, not so much. But when I saw the trailer for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, I wasn't really jumping out of my seat to really want to go check this out the theater. It looked okay, but I wanted to give it a shot anyway. Starting off with the positives for this film, now you have the original Ghostbusters back in this film. So if you have nostalgia for the original Ghostbusters film, they are back in this film in some type of role. I like the opening scene with the Spengler family when they're actually shooting at the ghosts that they're trying to defend New York City, as they are back in New York here. And I think that setting, it obviously ties back into the original films here, which I did like the action with the opening scene here, as I was like, I really hope how this film is going to go is having action like this in New York City. There also was a scene where we look at a lab and we see a lot of like ancient artifacts, paranormal kind of stuff. I thought that was really cool because we really haven't seen that in any other Ghostbusters film, and it was cool to see that and just see like the different artifacts and different things that they're actually studying within that lab. With those positives in mind though, I had a lot of negatives for this film. Starting off with Kumail Nanjiani. Now he is a new character, and in this film he takes this orb and he's going to sell it to Dan Aykroyd's store because they take in these artifacts, and he's like, yeah man, give me $40 for it. Now his character is very mixed for me. On one end, he's kind of an idiot. On another end, he's kind of full of himself. I don't know what they were trying to do with his character. I don't think that he was really funny in this character. Now, I do think that a lot of the younger kids, they probably will like the jokes in here, because when I was in the theater, they really were laughing at his jokes. I didn't really laugh at the comedy in here. It wasn't something that I really thought would be a strong aspect of the movie, but they do try to throw a lot of comedy in this film. It's called Frozen Empire, and it takes a long time before we even get any kind of destruction with the whole Ice Age thing. It takes 80 minutes before we get any of that in the film. And you see the scene in the trailer where they have like the Ferris wheel and the beach and everything. That is included in the film, but we don't get a lot of that. We don't get a lot of the city actually put to use in this film. You could have had all the Ghostbusters actually team up, and you could have still had this evil force involved in the movie, and then you could have had actual ghosts as well, because they're called Ghostbusters, which there really isn't any ghosts in this film, which I have no clue why they're called the Ghostbusters in this film, because they're not really busting any ghosts. This evil force, he looks really cool, but by the time you've already bored us to death with 80 minutes of runtime and really nothing else really happening, the whole rundown of the fight scene of this whole entity, it's really stupid because it's only about 5 minutes. We had to wait so long and so much of a whole lot of nothing really going on. And then we get into this evil force that's trying to destroy the city, and it wraps up in about 5 to 10 minutes. It's like, no, this is not a good movie. It's kind of false advertisement in a way, because they give you the good scenes towards the end of the film. It's not like he's going around the city and he's freezing every building or anything like that. That doesn't happen in this film. You think that it would happen because of the trailer. It really sucked us in a way, thinking that this was going to be a really epic action kind of film, and it's really not. Now let's talk about the characters. So you have the old Ghostbusters. You have Ernie Hudson, Bill Murray, and Dan Aykroyd. Now, Ernie Hudson and Bill Murray, they really don't have any effect on the plot here. They have a couple lines. Honestly, they don't need to be in the film. Dan Aykroyd, I think he has a little bit more prominent role to actually help the plot out and move it along. So I was okay with his character. Now, the Spengler family, they are split up throughout this movie. So Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, they're doing one thing. Then you have Phoebe, Mckenna Grace, who is basically kicked out of the Ghostbusters because the mayor doesn't want an underage girl working for the Ghostbusters. Now, she is talking to this ghost, playing chess, doesn't have really much else to do, but she's talking to this ghost, making a friend with this ghost, which this ghost has a connection to the entity that apparently is going to be released. Then you have Finn Wolfhard, who in this film doesn't have really anything to do. He's chasing around a Slimer throughout this film, and he doesn't really have anything to really impact the film. At this point, though, I really think that they need to drop the old Ghostbusters, and this is why I say that. So when we had Ghostbusters Afterlife, we've already paid a tribute to the old Ghostbusters. So at that point, you're handing the baton over to the new family, so you develop the new family. Now this time they go to New York, they move out of Oklahoma, and so you should be actually developing this family. They don't do that in this film. They distract us with old characters, which they don't need to do, but I think the problem is they're not confident in releasing a new Ghostbusters movie without the old characters. They think that people won't come out, they won't buy a ticket, and to me, if you really feel that way, then you shouldn't be making these films, because the new characters in this film, you need to be developing them. They are our new family. They need to be fighting Ghostbusters. And I feel like with this plot, it is a weak plot. It doesn't feel like a Ghostbusters movie to me. I feel towards the end of the film, they do have a little bit of the old Ghostbusters music, which is great. They have a little bit of callback to a little bit of some of the old Ghostbusters movies, but it's like you have to develop this new family. When you have all these characters doing other things, side plots that we don't give a damn about, it makes the movie feel boring. And even with the old legacy characters, and pretty much none of them have anything to do in here, with a few lines that gets butts in the seats, it's definitely a film that feels like it's just a product coming out and not a film that has a lot of heart to it. So as far as the score for this film, I would give it a 2 out of 5. It's a pretty boring film. It's not a film that I want to revisit. If you're going to continue to do these Ghostbuster films, you have to really establish this new family, have them doing a little bit more, and have the audience actually gravitate to these people. And they maybe get that nostalgia. The new generation may get that nostalgia for these characters, and you can rebuild this legacy with the new characters. But if you keep putting in the old characters and keep trying to just recreate the same magic with these older characters, I think it's not the right move. You have to drop them. Let me know in the comments, what did you think about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you just think it was kind of meh? Leave any and all comments down below. And what do you think about them with these new characters and the new family? Do you feel like they really need to drop the old characters, or do you think they just need to keep continuing with the old characters? Let me know any and all comments down in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.